Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Kara, and in today's video we are going to be talking about a bunch of market updates for April. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. A little update if you didn't watch my last video about the North Carolina Arboretum and tulip picking. I have now officially moved to North Carolina, to Asheville. As you can see, I have a new setup behind me. So I'm here in my new apartment in Asheville and going to be getting back into making videos again. I'm not really going to promise every week. I'm going to try to do that, but we'll just see what happens. But I definitely wanted to get this video up because I know many of you really liked the market update videos where I talk about statistics and show some graphs about everything that's going on in the real estate market. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so there's a lot of stuff to cover today since it's been, I think, since December since I actually made one of these types of videos. So I have a lot of statistics I want to cover, a lot of things I'm going to be popping up on the screen to show you. So I broke it up into a few different sections, first being price, second being inventory, and then I'll get into a few mortgage statistics and a couple other random things. But to get started, in case you are completely new to the real estate market and know nothing about it, nationally, locally, honestly, basically everywhere, inventory is very low right now and home prices are very high. So as you'll see in some of these statistics, home prices are growing at a rapid rate and inventory has decreased quite a bit. So despite it being spring, there's still not much inventory. I mean, we're seeing a little bit more than winter maybe, but it's still quite low. It's definitely a seller's market. So right now in Asheville and Buncombe County in particular, we have just over a month, which is very low amount of inventory. So if you're a seller, this is awesome news for you. Definitely reach out to me about getting your place on the market if it's something you're considering. If you're a buyer, it's not the best news for you, but do keep in mind that mortgage rates are quite low. So we'll get into all that in a minute, but let's start with price. So home prices are actually growing at a faster rate than we have seen since 2006, which was 15 years ago. So much has changed in the world in 15 years, but home prices are skyrocketing just like they were back then. They're also expected to continue to rise throughout this year and probably a little bit next year too before we see some sort of a correction. Again, this is just a prediction. I'm not saying this is definitely what's going to happen, but it's what a lot of people are saying. Another thing to note too is that Redfin released a report in late March stating that 39% of homes that went under agreement for over list price. So if you're a buyer out there right now, you have probably encountered some sort of a competitive offer situation. Another thing I want to show you guys is this chart that I will pop up that shows you that 60% of Redfin agents that made an offer back in February were in a competitive offer situation. I can't really say that I'm expecting this to go away anytime soon. I would just say if you're a buyer, definitely, keep with it if you can, be patient, and I will get to those mortgage interest rates too to show you that not all hope is lost if you're a buyer. But first, let's talk a little bit about inventory. By February of this year, the number of homes on the market has actually decreased 30% since last year. So to put this all in context, home prices are increasing, inventory is decreasing. Another thing to go along with this is lumber prices. So unfortunately, at the beginning of the pandemic, lumber companies misjudged the demand for lumber. They actually thought that there was going to be a decrease in demand when ultimately there was a huge spike in demand. So now we have less lumber being produced and much more demand. So as you can see, this would of course create a supply and demand issue. So supply is way down, causing prices of lumber to skyrocket, which you may have heard about in the news. I have a chart here that I'll pop up as well showing you that lumber prices have actually tripled in the last year. This is crazy. We have not seen this before, and lumber companies honestly cannot produce lumber quick enough. Another thing to note is steel mills are actually having a similar issue, where prices of their products have jumped 22% in just the last 3 months. I have a chart here for that too that I'll pop up. Sorry about that, camera battery just died, so I had to change that, and the background might be a little bit off, but we'll just go with it. So the total number of loans in forbearance has actually been dropping week over week. In case you're unfamiliar with this term, what it means is that if you have a mortgage on a home and during the pandemic you were unable to pay for your monthly payments, your loan, you could ask for it basically to go into forbearance, which would mean that you could delay your payments. So you would basically skip your mortgage payments each month, but the key thing here is that you will have to pay back those skipped payments. So let's say you skipped it for 3 months. At the end of that 3-month period, you would have to repay your missed payments. The number of loans in forbearance having dropped basically means that people are paying off all of those missed payments, and they are less likely to go into foreclosure. Now, the statistic that I know a lot of you buyers have been looking forward to is interest rates. Where are the interest rates going? You know, what are they right now? And again, I'm not a mortgage lender. I'm just a real estate broker here in North Carolina. But I can give you some statistics to give you an idea of what they've been doing and maybe some predictions for the future. So the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage interest rate is hovering right around 3%. We've been just a little bit over, like 3.1 recently, but in the past couple weeks it's been dropping a little bit too. Interest rates last year got quite low, like 2.75, depending on where you are. Of course, it's different in which mortgage lender you choose, but we were definitely in the 2s very recently, and it's jumping up just a little bit, but honestly, 3% is still an excellent price. I know when I started in real estate about 4 years ago, I want to say the interest rate then was right around maybe 4.2, right around there. So it's definitely come down, and that is great news if you're a buyer. So even though inventory is low, if you are able to find a house and get into it and lock in that mortgage rate, that is awesome news, because you keep that for the next 30 years if you have the fixed rate version, of course. One other statistic I wanted to mention for you guys is that investors are actually buying up 20% of the homes that are on the market. So I unfortunately don't have a statistic or a number of what it was maybe a year ago or so. I only have that they're buying up 20% of the homes on the market, but I still thought that that was an interesting thing to share with you guys. I want to end off this video today by chatting with you guys a little bit about solutions for this supply and demand issue in the real estate world. So the first solution would naturally be increasing the supply of homes. So not everyone out there is going to want a new home, first of all, and there's not really enough land to keep building new homes. But let's just take this idea, for example. So if we were to just continue building for the amount of demand that is out there, it would take years to actually meet that demand. That's due to a few different reasons: not being enough raw land to use, also lumber prices increasing quite a bit, steel, as you saw earlier in the video as well, and also labor costs for construction. So while this might be a good option, it's definitely a longer term solution. The second solution would be kind of out of our hands, but it would be if interest rates started to slowly rise. This would cause some buyers to no longer want to look at homes, and it would also kind of detract some new buyers from coming onto the market. So it would allow the people that have been on the market for quite a while to actually find the homes they're looking for and not really allow as much new competition to come in, if that makes sense. So in conclusion, if you are someone out there that owns a home and is currently considering selling, but just isn't quite sure how to go about it, or has no idea, if you have no idea what your home is even worth, absolutely feel free to reach out to me if you are in the Asheville area. If you are not, I can definitely refer you to a great agent in your area as well. And if you are a home buyer, just be patient, stick with it if you can, and just know that interest rates right now are really, really good. Just a few months ago, we were seeing historic lows, and even though they're increasing just a little bit, you're still getting a really, really great rate. So if you are a buyer here around Asheville, definitely feel free to reach out to me, and I would be absolutely happy to help you with your home search and get you into your next home. Thank you guys so much today for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I will be back at it with these every month. I'm gonna try to post them probably mid-month or so. I know this one's a little bit later, but I should be having another one come out in May, along with a few more vlog style videos of exploring Asheville and the surrounding areas. So if you have any video topics that you want me to do, definitely leave me a comment below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I will see you guys very soon in the next one.